Hi guys, and welcome back to my craft table. I have been working on my snowmen for my front porch. Today I am going to basically repurpose. If you guys remember, I did a tutorial on this. It is my lighted planter box, and it still works. It is not Christmassy, so it gets to stay on the front porch, but the jars that were in it were Christmassy, so I had to remove them. I am going to work on some replacement jars, and these ones I am going to use some. These are actually spaghetti sauce jars. And I thought I can fit 4 of these in here perfectly. So I am going to be making little snowman faces on 4 of these little jars. Just like that. And the faces will be, of course, hand-drawn, so all different. But I'm going to paint up the jars, put the snowman faces on, stick them in, and stick this back out on my porch. So what you're going to need is, you can have, it depends on if you've got a crate. If you do not have a crate, just grab a jar, nice sized little jar, gives you plenty of paint room. So 1 glass jar, you're going to need some paint, and for the background I've decided I'm going to use a mixture of this ivory chalk paint and this blue, very little of the blue, but just enough to make it different than the white that I'm going to use for the snowman, because you want the snowman to pop out. So I am going to paint the whole jar in a mixture of the ivory and the blue. And then of course you're going to need the orange for the noses, some black for the detailing in the eyes and that type of stuff. I am going to be using, of course, my sponge wedges, because I like the daubing. It gives it a texture. I can make it look more like snow. You will want probably a marker for the fine detailing, that type of stuff, or if you're really good and have a steady hand, fine paintbrush will do. But after you've got these painted, you're going to want to put some kind of a protective coat on it. So I use this Rust-Oleum. It's clear. I have the glossy here. I prefer the matte, but for some reason I ended up with glossy. It still works. That's all that matters. So this is what you're going to need. And this is optional and detail. After you get them all painted and decorated and stuff, I always tie twine to the top of mine. It just seems to finish it off. So any kind of twine or ribbon that you have laying around, that's what we need. So that little pile there, that's what you're going to need. And if you're doing 4, 5, or 1, this is what you're going to need. So I'm going to go through and paint my 4 jars. I'm going to be using the ivory and the blue. I will get these painted, let them dry, and come back and we'll proceed to the next step. So don't go away. Alright, I have my jars all painted, and as you can tell I used the blue and the ivory and put a couple coats on. And now I'm going to put some faces on each jar. The first thing I had to do, though, because they sit down inside, I measured the inside part of my box, and I am going to make a line. This one I've already done, of what part of the jar will be sticking up. So only this part of the jar will be seen. The rest will be hidden inside the box. So I'm going to finish marking each jar. That one's got one. And I'm just using this blue because it kind of blends in. There won't be a big harsh black mark or anything like that. And put a mark where I want the facial parts to be, so they look like at least you can see their eyes. There we go. Alright, so now with the same pen, and like I said, I'm just using a blue, something that kind of match. I am going to make like the top part are a semicircle, half circle, just the outline, because now I have to paint the snowman. And for the snowman I am going to use the white, so it'll pop out from the blue background. Just give me an idea of kind of what I want. Now I'm going to use just plain white. There we go. Yes, I got it on my fingers. For beginning snowmen, and I will put another layer on because I want them to stand out. So I'm going to give these about 15 minutes to dry, and then I'll be back. Alright, and we're back. And I have put the second coat on all my snowmen. And like I told you, it was just going to be basically the silhouette type thing, white. And I am going to fill in the faces and add whatever I want to them. And this is where you can have fun too. You just draw what you want. You can even use stickers. If you see a picture, cut it out, stick it on. But now comes, for me, the fun part. I get to draw. So I'm going to start out, and I'm going to start out with just the marker and start the outline and see what happens. See you when I'm done. Alright, we are all done. All the bottles are painted, and they fit nicely. And I will be taking them out and putting the sealant on as a protective coating because they will be sitting outside. But I will do that later. And this is what it's going to look like. As you can see, I got the faces up so they people can see them. And now all that's left to do is put a little bit of twine. And like I said, this is all optional, just like the painting. If you notice, I just went with whatever I felt like at the time. So I am going to get some twine on these little guys. And we will be all done. I just want to show you what it looks like. For me, like I said, it just kind of sets it right off. And as usual, I screwed up the bow, but that's me. And there we go. And there you go. There's my little rustic snowman jars. And even if you don't have a planter or any kind of a crate, these would look great. All you have to do is drop a tea candle in there and it will show through. And these would make great gifts or just winter decor. Look great on your front porch too. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got a little bit of inspiration, a whole bunch of imagination going on here, and I hope to see you soon. So see you later. Bye bye now.